Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the elect Akim out there and the 1/3 who believe in this truth and are pushing it wholeheartedly. This lesson is inspired by last night after I made that video about Joseph and Mary having sex. I was on my way back walking through the park, and I saw a chariot go over the park, and it was like a white light. It was kind of like a pill-shaped chariot, and what had happened was, I just like looked up when I was walking, and it like, I thought it was a missile at first. It was going so fast, and it was like a white light, and it went like, it was hauling ass. And then as soon as it got to these other trees, it started to fade away and it disappeared. So this lesson is going to be about chariots. And people think that they're UFOs today, so-called UFOs, which isn't true. They're vehicles of the Most High's angels. I'm going to start in Psalms 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, And it says, who maketh the clouds his chariot. Now, if you look up that word chariot, well, it just means chariot. But if you look up the word car, it goes back to that word chariot. So chariots are vehicles, like the chariots, the what are today known as chariots have those two wheels and like horses pull them, and they're vehicles. They were like the vehicles of that time. But today's chariots are like cars, but the angels' chariots are those clouds. Exodus 13 and 21, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. So that was back when the Lord led the Israelites out of Egypt. And by day is a pillar of cloud, because if you see them during the daytime, they're usually like a weird shaped cloud, whether it be like a really dark cloud in the middle of like a cloud that has like shining, has light on it, or it'll be like a weird colored cloud. Or I saw a video today. I was like looking at videos of them. There's this one video of a cloud, and it had lights in the middle of it, and it was like floating around like it was like a bubble or something, and it was moving really weird, and it was like expanding and conforming, and it was just moving really weird. I'll try to put the link in the description if I can find it again. You've got to be kidding me, man. Train's coming. I'm just gonna pause the video if it does come. But I'll try to put the link of that cloud chariot / UFO in the description. Verse 22, he took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night, from before the people. Yeah, at night it was a pillar of fire. It was like a ball of light at night. Numbers 9 and 15. Yeah, Numbers 9 and 15, it says, and on the day that the tabernacle was reared up by the cloud covered the Salakia. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, namely the tent of the testimony. And at even there was upon the tabernacle, as it were, the appearance of fire until the morning. So that same cloud covered the tabernacle. You know, the tabernacle that they carried out of Egypt. You know, or it was, the tabernacle held the Ten Commandments. You know, and a cloud was over it, covering it. So, you know, UFOs are in the scriptures, and I think there's hieroglyphics of that depict chariots. Like there's UFOs like in like drawn on hieroglyphics in the pyramids. You know, you can look that up because you know all the nations saw Israel being brought out of Egypt. Which brings me, I should get that. Yeah, Jeremiah 23 and 7. Let's see, Jeremiah 23. Yeah, Jeremiah 23 verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. You know, because I mean, if you talk about Israel being delivered out of Egypt, everybody pretty much knows what you're talking about. But verse 8, but the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Right. Because what's that north country? That north country is North America, Babylon the Great. You know, it says, no more will say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. You know, people are basically going to forget about Egypt, because what's coming to America is going to be like way greater than that. And he's not going to deliver all of Israel this time. And it said, and from the countries which whither I had driven them, you know, because Israel's scattered throughout the whole earth. And judgment's not going to just take place in America. It's going to happen across the globe. But the main judgment is going to happen in America. You know, but it's going to happen into those countries that drank the cup of Babylon. You know, but I'm going to get a next scripture to back up that UFOs are in the scriptures. Matthew 17. Verse 5, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, hear ye him. So, you know, a great cloud came over Yahushua and said, this is my Son, you know. So, you know, the Lord travels in those chariots. The Most High does. Even his angels do. I can get the description of them in Ezekiel chapter 1. Yeah, chapter 1, verse 16. Hold on. I'm trying to find where it says a wheel within a wheel. I'll just read 16. The appearance of the wheels in their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and the four had one likeness. And their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Yeah. So it was a wheel inside of a wheel. Which is like, if you ever seen a car with spinning rims, that's basically what they look like. There's a music video to it too, where it says, my car sits up so high from the floor, I feel like I'm an alien in a UFO, which, and then at the beginning of it, it showed it, his spinning rims, and then it turned into a UFO and like started flying. That's basically what it looks like a flying saucer. Not all chariots look like this. I mean, they shapeshift and stuff. Like, they defied all sorts of laws. They defied gravity. You can't explain it. It's a supernatural thing. They disappear, appear, they multiply, they divide, they expand, they shrink. It's crazy. It's a marvelous thing to look at. And Yahushua is coming back in those chariots. We're gonna jump to Acts, Book of Acts. I'm in John. Chapter 1, verse 10. Acts 1 and 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So what had happened is when Yahushua was with them, he ascended into heaven, into a cloud. I'll read verse 9. And when he spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So he went up into a cloud, and they watched him, and then until he went into the cloud. And then everybody was standing there like dumbfounded. And then they said, why are you standing around gazing up? He's going to come back the same way. Which is why, you shouldn't be so shocked about it. This is just something that you should know. It's okay to get excited. It's the thing. It's cool, but at the same time, don't be dismayed at it. Which is Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10 and 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So the signs of heaven are those chariots. There can be other signs in the heaven, we just had that solar eclipse where the moon went in front of the sun. Because if you do the history, every time that happened, a lot of destruction came. And we're in those times now where a lot of shit's about to start happening. We're on the brink of World War III. Trump just tweeted that tweet saying that his nuclear button is bigger than Kim Jong-un's. They're out there dick measuring with their nuclear weapons. You know, everybody's got nuclear weapons now, not just Russia, China, uh, America, and North Korea. No, like everybody has them. That's why the scriptures say, "Let the weak say I am strong," because these third world countries are getting nuclear capabilities now. Like, um, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if like South American countries had nuclear weapons. You know, shit. There's nuclear weapons in Cuba. You know, that's what was starting the Cold Wars because you know Russia got weapons on Cuba, and that's what brought about the whole Cold War scare and stuff. Um, yeah. So when he's coming back though, he's coming back in these chariots, and he's not gonna come back as a man. Um, Isaiah 47 verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, that thy shame. Oh shit. Damn. That's Satan, man. My phone just died. Um, but it says, I'm not going to meet thee as a man. Meaning he's coming back in that angelic form. You know? He's coming back in that angelic form, so you're not going to be able to kill him this time. I'm going to jump to 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. I'll start at verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. All as like as a fire faileth when it feeleth the fire. You know, so like when you burn grass, you know how it like withers up and it like squirms. That's how these people are gonna be when they hear Yahweh Shai. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. You know, those men are going to be those pilots in their chariots. They're off-brand chariots, which aren't shit compared to the Most High's chariots. You know, and their fighter jets and whatnot. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. So this thing was so big, he thought it was a fucking mountain. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So he was trying to find the end of this mountain, and he couldn't. That's how big it was. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. You know, so they're shaking in their boots and their jets, man. They're like, oh fuck me, I gotta go fight this thing. And what the fuck is this? You know, they're dismayed at that sign of heaven. But you know, the Most High is gonna put pride in their heart to fight them, just like he's gonna harden their hearts, just like he did Pharaoh in Egypt. You know, after one plague, you know, Pharaoh would be like, okay, y'all can go, and then like the next day he'd be like, no, y'all can't go, y'all have to stay, and you know, why can't y'all just worship your God here? You know, Pharaoh was on that wishy-washy bullshit because the Most High, you know, hardened his heart. And that's what he's going to do to these pilots. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So he's just fireballs and like lightning bolts. It says tempest. There's actually if you've played Call of Duty Black Ops 3 online, there's this character that you can play as that's called the Prophet, and he has two abilities. One is a glitch where he can go and teleport to a place where he was like 5 seconds ago, and his other ability is like this gun that shoots and it's called Tempest. That's what the ability is called, is the Tempest. And what it does, it shoots like a lightning bolt, and when it hits somebody, it kills it'll electrocute the surrounding players that you shot. So it jumps and kills them, just like a lightning bolt does, And that character looks like a Jake, and he was wearing that I forget what it's called, but it is what the Hebrew Israelites wore in the ancient days, And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. That's a terrifying sight, man. Like, all these jets going to fight this thing, and then all of a sudden he just doesn't even say anything. He doesn't even flinch. He doesn't pick up an instrument of war. It's just a burst of flaming fire and lightning bolts, just, and then nothing was there except the smell of smoke. I'd shit my pants if I saw that. He said I saw this and I was afraid. Afterward saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. There came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. And it goes and gives, basically I just broke it down, but if you read, it's what's going to happen when Yahushua comes back. I can't remember it, but, Lord willing, I'll just flip right to it. If the Spirit's working with me right now. I think it's Revelations 3, when it says that he comes with clouds. Maybe not. But in Revelation it says, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and those clouds are the chariots, his angels. So it's not just going to be him, it's going to be his army. Because the Most High is a Lord of hosts. He's coming back with his army, man. He's not coming to talk or to reason, man. He's coming to lay waste, And, I pray that I'm part of that number. that gets to fight next to him, and I don't want to have to go up against him. Lord willing, I'm part of the elect, and that's what you can only hope for, is that you're, part of the elect, or 1/3. You know, but to that, repent, get right, and shalom.